Hello and welcome to another episode of Rob's Ramblings here on the Bucks and Six channel. And today at the Brown Table of Sports Card Collecting, I'm going to finish off what I started yesterday. If you tuned into my video yesterday, I showed cards that were given to me as gifts for Christmas from various family members and friends. Showed a bounty of really beautiful cards. I didn't show all of the gifts that I received. I saved a bundle of cards that I received from my wife because I wanted to kind of show these on a separate episode of their own because they are unique and I felt like they really didn't fit in with the other cards, and I wanted to showcase these cards today. So what I have is a bundle of cards that come from a rather obscure set from 2015. I wasn't collecting in 2015, so there's so much that was happening in the hobby during those years when I was out of the hobby. It's just mind-boggling how much the hobby changed while I was away from it. So I have so much to learn, and I've been back now for half a decade, and I still feel like I haven't even scratched the surface of learning what there was going on while I was away. So one of the things that I discovered, or actually my wife discovered during the holiday season as she was looking for cards to purchase, she found this set called the season, what is it called? Highlight of the Year cards, and this was produced by Topps in 2015. The set had 60 cards, and what it was is they picked one moment in a specific year to highlight on a card, and so they made 60 of these in the regular set, and then there was also an update set released where there was 30 more cards. So they ended up making 90 cards that highlighted one specific moment from each season in baseball history. So what my wife did is she didn't buy the whole set. Obviously, she picked out 10 cards from these moments that she thought were pretty cool. She's a history buff, so she enjoys things like this, looking at the history of the game. And I think she did a fantastic job of picking out 10 moments from baseball history that we're going to add to our collection. I keep on saying my collection, but really at this point, the collection that we have really is ours because my wife has definitely contributed quite a bit to the collection as well. So here, we'll get started. I'll show you what the cards look like. This is the first one. This is the general design. It's got the player that's being recognized, and then it's got a brief description of the moment that was being honored, and then the year. So this was the moment that they chose for the year 1928, and it says Ruth homers in Game 4 of the World Series. Well, that's not exactly all that this was signifying. This is signifying that he hit 3 homers in a World Series game, and he was the second person to have done that, or the second player to have done that. And the first player was also Babe Ruth. It says on the back, in 1926, Ruth was the first person to hit 3 home runs in a World Series game. And then in 1928, he was also the second person to do it. So that's what this card is commemorating, is Babe Ruth hitting 3 home runs in a World Series game. Still is a remarkable feat by any standard. So this was the year 1928, way back. Then in 1932, this is more famous, probably more well-known moment in baseball history. This is again honoring Babe Ruth, and this is the famous called shot in Game 3 of the World Series, where people will never really know whether or not he called the home run, but it certainly looked as if he was pointing to the outfield fence with his bat prior to hitting that home run. In the back, you can read about it. Says it may never be known if Babe actually called his home run in Game 3 of the 1932 World Series, but it makes for one of the game's greatest stories. Either way, the tie-breaking home run that followed his gesture positioned the Yankees for a sweep of the Cubs, and this was the moment being honored in 1932. So that's second card on the list that my wife chose. And the next one is also a Babe Ruth. This is a 1934 This moment is another Babe Ruth where he became the first player to ever hit 700 home runs, which is still just an incredibly rare feat in baseball. I believe only maybe 2 or 3 players have done it so far in the history of the game. I got to get my stand set up here. Apologize for my voice again. I've got a cold I've been battling, and hopefully we'll get through it, but kind of struggling and pushing through. The next moment is one of the most iconic moments, not just in baseball, but in our nation's history. On April 15th, 1947, this is when Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in baseball. So this card is commemorating that. This is kind of a no-brainer. If you're gonna pick one moment from the year 1947, it's got to be this one, Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier. So this was a pretty easy choice for my wife to make as far as picking that one out. We do collect a lot of Jackie Robinson cards. The next one, this is a Ted Williams. Now, my wife is a gigantic Red Sox fan. Just ask Card Wolf about that. If you ever talk to Card Wolf, he can give you more details about how large of a Red Sox fan my wife is. But at any rate, Ted Williams is the honoree in the 1952 card. Is a 2-run home run to break a tie on Ted Williams Day. So this is significant because Ted Williams Day was happening because Ted Williams was going to be shipped out and sent out to be a fighter pilot the very next day. So he says on the back, the Red Sox staged a Ted Williams Day on April 30th, 1952 as a tribute in his final game before he shipped off to Korea as a fighter pilot. So he knew that the next day he wasn't going to be playing baseball. He was going to be serving his country as a fighter pilot, and he hit 2 home runs that day. Pretty darn special and pretty unheard of these days. So obviously that's a moment that needed to be honored, and I'm kind of losing it off of the stage. I don't know if I can make room. These cards going sideways are kind of eating up space, but we'll try to squeeze it in there. All right, the next card that she chose was honoring the moment from 1959. This is a Hank Aaron because Hank Aaron is one of our favorites. And this is kind of unusual stat. I was very surprised to learn this, that on this date, June 21st in 1959, Hank Aaron hit 3 home runs in a game. And that was the only time in his career that he had done so. So a man who hit 755 home runs throughout his career only hit 3 home runs in one game one time. That seems really unusual to me. It seems like that's not that it's a super easy thing to do. Lots of people have done that, hit 3 home runs in a game multiple times. But Hank Aaron only did it once. So at any rate, that was the moment that Topps chose for the 1959 season. And so we snagged that one and honoring Hank Aaron. I always love to add Hank Aaron to the collection. And the next one is honoring one of my mom's favorite players when she was a little girl. This is Warren Spahn, became the winningest left-handed pitcher in baseball history back in April 11th of 1963. I'm sure that Warren Spahn has been passed since then, but at that time, he became the winningest left-handed pitcher. So this is a cool card showing one of the best pitchers to ever pitch in Milwaukee, Warren Spahn. So we love that card. The next card on the list, now we're getting into a little bit more modern times. Actually, I was even alive when this one happened. This is 1973. Nolan Ryan, he's known for pitching 7 no-hitters, and he did 2 no-hitters in the same season in 1973. On July 15th, he pitched his second no-hitter of the season. Oddly enough, July 15th is kind of well known in my stomping grounds too. That was a date 1980, July 15th. We had a catastrophic storm that came through and devastated our hometown, and took the city quite a while to recover. But anyways, that's just kind of just noticed that date, and that always strikes a chord with me. And every time I see July 15th, but Nolan Ryan pitched second no-hitter of the season on that date in 1973. I've got two more cards. The next one ties into one of the earlier cards. Back in 1947, we learned that Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. But in 1997, this is 50 years later, Major League Baseball officially retired the number 42 throughout all of Major League Baseball, and is now known as Jackie Robinson Day on April 15th every year. Every year on that date, every player in the major leagues wears the number 42 to honor Jackie Robinson, and that is the only time that any player ever wears that uniform number, because it is retired throughout the major leagues. So this card is commemorating that significant event. And finally, the last one that my wife chose, the 10th one out of the set, is very fitting for our collection. This is Robin Yount, 1992. Robin Yount on September 9th recorded his 3,000th hit. And I remember that day very, very well. I was with my brother in our basement, and we celebrated. I remember celebrating that base hit almost as if the Brewers had won the World Series, because we were just so happy for the man. He was so much a icon, and just a man that we all looked up to. And it was such an incredible moment that he had done that feat, and he hit every single one of those 3,000 hits for our team, the Brewers. So he's forever remembered fondly in Milwaukee and throughout the state of Wisconsin. And this card commemorates that moment, so it fits perfectly into my PC. So there you have it. Try to squeeze that on there too a little bit. That's the 10 cards. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're like me, I had no idea that this set even existed until my wife gave me these cards for Christmas. And so I definitely am interested now to look and see what the other moments were that are recognized in this set. So I'm going to look through. I don't know if I'll complete the set, but I definitely will check into it and see which other ones I want to add to this particular bundle. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this. I'll be signing off. Until next time, enjoy the hobby and stay true to yourself.